You know, some cities have a catchy slogan, but Sacramento, California, its motto is something else entirely. It's not just a nice phrase, it's a declaration, one that was earned through a history of almost unbelievable resilience. The city's official motto is Urbs Indomita. It's Latin for the indomitable city. And look, this isn't just some fancy phrase they pulled out of a hat. No, this is a title that was forged in disaster, a story of survival that's baked right into the city's DNA from its very first chaotic moments. So that begs the question, right? How on earth does a brand new city survive the absolute chaos of a gold rush, a deadly cholera epidemic, a fire that literally levels the place, and a biblical flood, all within its first 12 years? It's just wild. Well, to get that answer, we've got to go right back to the beginning, to its absolutely chaotic birth, a story that's really all about gold, floods, and fire. Okay, so picture this. It all kicks off right here at Sutter's Fort. When gold was discovered back in 1848, this sleepy little settlement just exploded. We're talking tens of thousands of people showing up almost overnight, turning it into this instant and super volatile boomtown. And what's just nuts about this period is how relentless it was. This wasn't just one bad day. It was a constant barrage of crises. I mean, look this. The gold rush starts, and just 2 years later, bam, a devastating flood. Right after that, a cholera epidemic kills over 1,000 people. 2 years after that, the Great Conflagration, a fire that just destroys the city. And then as if that wasn't enough, a decade later, the Great Flood hits, the worst they'd ever seen. I mean, that kind of stuff could break any community. But for Sacramento, it seems like it did the opposite. It forged them. Let's just pause on that fire for a minute. We're talking about the Great Conflagration of 1852. It wiped out 80% of the city. Just try to imagine that. Almost everything you've built, just gone. But here's the kicker. Within a month, they had already rebuilt over 700 buildings, this time with brick. Now that is indomitable. And that 1862 flood, whoa. The scale was just staggering. The entire city was underwater. It was so bad that the new governor, Leland Stanford, one of the big railroad guys, he had to travel to his own inauguration in a rowboat. Can you even picture that? So what do you do after all that? Do you give up? Move somewhere else? Not Sacramento. They did something so unbelievably audacious, it's hard to even wrap your head around it. They decided to physically lift the city. I'm not kidding. They raised the entire downtown, streets, buildings, everything, in some places over 10 feet. They literally turned the original first floors into the basements you can still see today. This wasn't a repair. This was them telling Mother Nature, not today. And that same kind of grit, that refusal to quit, that's exactly what helped Sacramento lock down its most important title, becoming California's state capital. And trust me, it was not a sure thing. In the early days, the capital was like a hot potato. It started in San Jose, then it bounced over to Vallejo, then to Benicia. All the while, Sacramento, even as it's literally rebuilding from fire and flood, is making its case, lobbying, and finally, in 1854, they clinch it. It becomes the permanent capital. And a huge piece of this puzzle was its location, right? It was perfectly positioned. Sacramento became the western end for the legendary Pony Express and, even more importantly, the starting point for the first transcontinental railroad. That didn't just make it a political center, it cemented it as this vital hub for the entire country. So this whole spirit of reinvention, of overcoming insane challenges, it didn't just stop in the 1800s. Nope. It became a core part of the city's identity, this constant drive to keep evolving and forging a modern identity. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that Sacramento, the city of trees, was originally called the city of plains? Yeah, because there were hardly any trees. The incredible urban forests you see today, which by the way has more trees per person than just about any other city in the world, that was a deliberate century-long project, a total reinvention of its landscape. And you can really see this evolution today in its nicknames. It's still proudly the city of trees, but now it's also earned the title America's Farm to Fork Capital. This new identity is brilliant. It leans into its location, right in the heart of California's agricultural breadbasket, and celebrates this whole modern culinary movement. But you know, maybe the biggest reinvention of all has been a social one. Back in 2002, Time magazine teamed up with Harvard, they crunched all the numbers, and they gave Sacramento a brand new title, America's Most Diverse City. And if you look at the recent census data, you can see exactly why. There's no single majority ethnic group. It's this amazing, balanced mix of cultures. It's another kind of resilience, right? One that's built on a strong social fabric, not just brick and mortar.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. When we say Urbs Indomita, the indomitable city, what does that really mean?
Well, it means surviving disasters that would have completely erased other towns from the map. It means facing down a biblical flood by physically jacking up your entire downtown. It means fighting tooth and nail to become the political heart of the state. And it means never stopping, constantly reinventing itself, from a barren plain to a lush forest, and from a chaotic gold rush town to one of America's great multicultural hubs. The story of Sacramento is just this incredible lesson in resilience. It's a city that has proven over and over and over again that it just can't be beaten. Which really leaves you with one big question, doesn't it? For a city that's built its entire identity on reinvention, what's going to be next?